Hi, let's talk about rockets. Rockets are really amazing and fascinating machines when you think about how they can travel all the way to space. The word rocket is, however, used to describe a lot of other machines and devices. In fact, the word rocket was first used to describe mostly objects that propelled fireworks and missiles used for military purposes. So, to be specific, we are discussing the kinds of rockets that are propelled into space. So, we shall call them space rockets. In this lesson, we shall be looking at space rockets and discussing some of their parts. A space rocket is a vehicle that can travel from the surface of the Earth to space, including the moon and beyond. Rockets generally work using Newton's laws of motion. First of all, recall that Newton's first law states that an object will not move unless an external force acts on it. So if no external force acts on the rocket, it will remain where it is. The second law states that when a force acts on an object, the force will make the object to accelerate by the formula F is equal to mass times acceleration. But looking at the force produced by this rocket, you will notice that the force produced is at the bottom of the rocket and the force acts downward. So why does the rocket go up? Well, this leads us to the third law of motion that says for every action, there's an equal but opposite reaction. This implies that when the force acts downward, there will be an equal but opposite force that acts upward. You can verify this by sitting on an office chair and pushing against the wall. You will notice that even though you push forward, you are moving backwards. Also, the more force you apply on the wall, the more you will accelerate backwards. There are many types of space rockets that have been produced over the years, but we shall be looking at some components of a space rocket that can be found on almost all rockets. There are four basic components of a space rocket: the main body, the nose cone with the payload, the engine with the nozzle, and the fins. Most rockets produce an upward thrust by burning a gas called a propellant, which is a fuel or a gas that is burning in the combustion chamber and is propelled out of the nozzle of the rocket. This leads to the lifting and flight of the rocket. Some rockets can also have extra propellant tanks attached to them such that they can be ejected from the rocket when the propellant is used up. And this is in order to reduce the total mass of the rocket. So let us look at the forces acting on a rocket leaving the Earth. First is the weight of the rocket, which is the product of gravity acting towards the center of the Earth. Then we have the thrust produced by the burning fuel, which pushes the rocket upward. Then there is the air resistance or drag, which is acting opposite to the direction of motion of the rocket. As you can see, there are more forces acting opposite to the rocket's motion, and this is why so much force is required to propel the rocket to space. And that is why when you see a rocket blasting off to space, you will observe a huge combustion reaction on its rear end. So let's do more on rockets in subsequent lessons. See you there.